I'm Dylan, and welcome to Twisted Rich Garage. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. I hope everyone had a fantastic New Year's, and again, if you guys didn't see the last video, I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas as well. We're in a new year now, but we're still working on the same truck, unfortunately, but it's all good. I like working on these things. We didn't get the motor into the truck completely on the last video, which honestly kind of works out for me in my opinion, because there are still some things that I'd like to go through and do. Since we've got the motor out, I'd like to go ahead, and since we didn't get that oil pan fully painted up and looking good, today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw some paint on the oil pan, let that kind of dry, and then I'm going to get up in the engine bay and I'm going to paint the frame where some areas are needing some touch up. Then I'm going to take some brackets and pulleys home that need to be touched up as well and painted. That way they can kind of look good just like the rest of the motor. That way we're not putting any kind of dirty parts on this new engine and kind of making it look any worse than, well, that other one did. But you can't really get to that point, I don't think. So, but we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna take the pan, we're gonna get it painted up, just on the block right there. We're gonna come in here, we're probably gonna go ahead and paint up some of these frame rails, just kind of touch up some of this stuff in here, make this area look better. Kind of wish Ben had cleaned up this area back here a little bit better. We probably should have done some like degreaser look again and hit these inner fenders and back wall and stuff. And we could have possibly went ahead and painted like the inner fenders and the firewall all black so it would match, but we're not going to do that this time, I don't think. So we also still need to get these manifolds sawzalled out of here, because we're not going to be running them. We got headers for it. Need to change out our motor mounts. I'm probably going to go ahead and pull this ground off, because it's going to need to be replaced, because obviously it's busted off there. That's framed the engine ground there. So we'll get that popped off. We need to get some of these areas down in here where it's, we got a little bit of rust. If we can get a sledgehammer down in there, maybe we can straighten those bends out a little bit, but who knows. But that'll kind of get us up to date on paint on all this, so all that's looking good when we go to slap this new motor in. That rust and stuff won't spread any further. So let me get to going on this oil pan first, since it's out and free and readily available. Then I think we'll work on moving on into the engine bay here. We'll start pulling the motor mount, see if we can get these exhaust manifolds out of our way. Then we'll start painting some of this. All right, like I said, I'm just gonna paint this this pan while it's on here. I'm just gonna use a piece of cardboard here just to kind of help with my overspray. I'm just gonna give it a good coat. Not looking for perfection, just making it look better. Don't want to get a bunch of overspray on a bunch of stuff. Move to the back over here, see if I can get this back area. There's really no paint on this back area back here. Let's move to the other side. Might be a little hard to see over here. I have to hit that front too, a little bit. Get the underneath here. I also need to get the underneath of the pan too, which is, might be, oh, you guys have got my neck cord in front of you. Dang it, I hope that wasn't there the whole time. Probably was. All right, get down here on the floor a little bit. I'm gonna put this back here. All right, that looks quite a bit better. Hit the underside. Do the same on the other side. Oh. All right. Not too worried if I get a little bit on the block. You're not gonna see that. Okay, and we needed to hit that area right there. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. Give it some time to dry, and then I may throw just another light coat over it and then call that good. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just looking for it to look better and to cover up any of the bare metal areas so that stuff doesn't rust further. So let's get into that engine bay. Let's see what we can get done in there. All right, let's see if we can get these exhaust manifolds cut out of here. Oh. Got a blade on a sawzall. I don't know how sharp it's gonna be, but we'll see, I guess. There's one, and the starter's hanging now. Let's get this other side now. Oh. This one may be a little more hard to get to. Side number 2. Blade is not liking it. Here we go. Got another blade on that sawzall. Oh. All right, those are free. We just gotta pull them out now. See if I can get this one from here. Oh, those are a little heavy. Grab that other one. Here we go. Oh. There. That's the exhaust manifolds out and out of our way. I'm gonna go disconnect that starter so it's not hanging there anymore. We've got a brand new one to throw in too. Since that starter's good, I'm gonna keep it, I think. Or if Ben wants to keep it, he can keep it. But we don't want to throw that away. We know it's a good starter, so I'm gonna pull that off and get these motor mounts off. Got that old starter out. Look at that. Reman USA number 444. This is a remanufactured starter. That's cool. Well, we got that all painted under the hood, as you guys saw. Try to get you guys the best view possible. I was doing all that, just kind of touching everything up. Again, guys, I'm not looking for perfection. This isn't going to be a show truck by any means, so I'm not looking for it to be completely perfect, looking like it's brand new, etc., etc., etc. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to make it look a lot better than it did, as well as keep the rust from spreading any further than it already has. Basically, all I did was I got into the engine bay, scraped off any extra big stuff that I could see, stuff that I was concerned about, where I was going to be getting hit with any kind of top coat or little color black. Then I took a wire brush over it, just kind of knocked that off. Then I blew it off with the airbrush. Again, we're just knocking the heavy stuff off so we can throw a coat over the top. And here's the finished product of the under the hood. We got both frame rails, the cross member for the engine, that frame rail over there. Went ahead and spray painted the sway bar, front sway bar itself, because it was all rusted and looking like poo. So I also went ahead and got this front cross member section for the frame. I also went ahead and hit this battery tray, pulled the battery out, hit this battery tray, just kind of get it cleaned up, looking better, because it was all rusted, and I don't want that to completely rust out on him, because he's gonna be daily driving this truck. So that's all taken care of. We did go ahead and get our second coat on our engine block for the oil pan, so that is drying as well. I think I've all got caught up on what I'm going to be painting today here when it comes to like under the hood and on this engine itself. We'll give that some time to dry, and we can come back, get our accessories and stuff put on for the brackets that I can remember. There's a couple pulleys I need to take home and spray paint again. I ran out of paint. Ran out of paint doing what I was doing. So that's empty. Also, I forgot what I went ahead and did is, since I had enough, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I went ahead and just kind of barely gave this little side frame a little bit of a rebuild, as well as the shock tower there. Gave it a little rebuild. I did that on the other side too. Just kind of, you know, just a little something extra. What else? I did get the motor mounts pulled off. As you can tell, the starter's off. Like I said, we got a new one for that. We got one that's from like a Durango or a Dakota or something like that. It's supposed to be like a mini style of starter that'll work with the headers that we're working with. But yeah, I'm gonna get those pulleys. I'm gonna get those pulleys pulled off. I got one that's already off. It's the water pump pulley. The other one is going to be the crankshaft pulley on the old motor. Gonna need to get this pulled off, and that way we can move that over to the new motor. I'm gonna paint that as well, get that looking nice and clean too. Trying to think if there's anything else we need to touch up paint wise while I'm thinking about it, but I think that's it. So I'm gonna get that stuff gathered up, and I think that's gonna be it for today. We'll come back out tomorrow and we'll start seeing about slapping this old girl back together. What's up, guys, and thanks for joining me on another day at Twisted Wrench Garage here. Today's gonna be the day we throw this motor in this little girl. I did come out the day after I came out and did all the paint, and I knocked out a few things. Ended up having an issue that I had to resolve that day, and then I ended up taking the next day off because that kicked my butt. What happened was, and I'll show you what happened. Right here you have these exhaust studs, and I went ahead and pulled them off the old motor, and I was getting ready to put them over to here. So I went to go put the very first one in and used a little electric tool. I shouldn't have, I know better, but I used a little electric tool, zipped it in, and snapped clean off right there with the head. So I ended up having to spend a couple of hours working on that, get it out, get the threads tapped again. I actually had to remove this freeze plug right here to get the bits out of here, because while I was working on getting it extracted, I drilled it, I put an extractor in. The extractor was having a really tough time, and wouldn't you know it, that extractor broke off inside that hole as well. So, and if anybody knows anything about extractors are hardened steel. You can't drill them. So what I had to do was I actually had to use a punch to punch it all the way through, so I can then drill the screw out a little bit more, get the threads out of the old bolt, and I got them out through this little freeze plug that I popped out and we replaced. So what I did was I got that threaded in. I went ahead and, like I said, I cleaned the threads up. I put RTV on both front and back on these studs. They're all tightened in now, just letting it dry. The reason why I put RTV on these studs is because these are actually water jackets that goes all the way through on front and back. So went ahead and got a new set of them. Didn't trust the old ones since that very first one broke. Got those installed. Did have to order some header gaskets because we didn't have the header gaskets to go on here with the headers that we have. Picked up some new washers and nuts for the exhaust. Picked up some header bolts. Got a few other things that we had to pick up. I had to wait a day for the header gaskets to come out, so that worked out in my favor, since, you know, I wanted to take a day off from getting my butt kicked from that bolt. So I'm gonna get you guys in a position. We're gonna start getting this engine thrown into this truck. All right, guys, ran out of time today. Got to head back to the house. We got some friends coming over this evening, but we got the motor in. It's not completely installed, but we did get it in. Motor mounts are all bolted up. We got the headers in. Got a few things taken care of when it comes to like putting stuff on it. Still got to get all the accessories and wiring and hoses and all that kind of stuff taken care of. But let's take a look at her. There she is in her new home, looking really good. Still got the power steering pump and alternator and all that stuff to put on there, but I mean, as you guys can tell, it's looking a lot better in here. This is going to be a real good running engine. I did go ahead and on this bolt that broke off, I've already gone ahead and tapped it one size bigger, so now it's a 3/8 by 18. The threads weren't good enough to hold that 5/16 by 18 thread little stud in there. It just kept wanting to pull out. So like I said, I went ahead and took that up a size to 3/8 by 18. Gonna get another stud to go ahead and replace that one, get that taken care of. Got our new bypass hose installed. I didn't even know what that was called until the other day. So that bypass is installed with some new hose clamps. Got new clamps for all that kind of stuff. We got a new temp sensor. I've got the oil pressure sensor and the oil light sensor in a O'Reilly's bag. I'm going to take those up to the parts house and just verify the threads are the same, because there's 2 different threads or 3 different threads I think on these for the oil sender and the oil light. But yeah, we got our freeze plug back in. That's all good to go. So I think we're really from here on out, it's just kind of patching it all together. We still need to get the bell housing bolts bolted in. We did move the flex plate over with some Loctite, got that all moved over. Got to get our new starter in, get our flex plate bolts in. Like I said, we're gonna get those taken care of. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just patching up now. So hopefully we'll be able to get back out here in the next couple of days and finish this old girl up on the engine install. Then we can take care of all the other little crap that we kind of put aside for the major stuff. Because if you guys remember, like a couple weeks ago or a week ago, I pulled out the cluster. I was going to do a white face gauge kit on it. Yeah, that didn't work out because of the engine being bad. Well, the engine wasn't bad, the cam was bad. But so to make sure that all got taken care of, all that other stuff got set aside. So we'll probably be back out here again real soon. Get this all patched up. But that is going to be it for this episode of Twisted Rich Garage. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll check you guys out on the next one.